Welcome, Blenders, to the next episode of Blender Bites, which is part 2 of our Lightsaber creation series. In the last one, we actually composited and modeled the thing, and in this one, we will rotoscope it. For those of you who didn't see the last tutorial, I highly recommend that you do, or else your lightsaber's not going to look like anything but a green, line. So I recommend that you do that. And also, for those of you who don't know what rotoscoping is, it is where you painfully, frame by frame, go in and animate the lightsaber to match your prop. I know most of you are probably going like, well, why don't you just motion track the thing? And the answer is that it's not that easy. I mean, motion tracking is a pain. I have spent fewer hours on rotoscoping than on motion tracking, so I really think that this is the way to go. And if you think differently, do plan on doing a motion tracking tutorial in the future, but not today, because my footage that I was going to do for that came out kind of not good. So we're going to do a rotoscoping tutorial today, and hopefully a part 3 later where I teach you how to do the same thing with motion tracking. So let's get into it. Alright, so essentially what you want to start off by doing is rendering your thing one more time just to make sure everything looks okay. Because what you don't want is for it to be rotoscoped and then go back and say, oh man, I messed something up. Okay, lightsaber still looks awesome! And I don't know if you can tell or not, but after the last tutorial, I did notice mine was a little bit too fat. So I went back and skinnied it up a little bit. Looks more like the actual reference images. And so now, if you just go into edit mode, you can, with these two vertices selected, press, Shift S, not Control S, Shift S, cursor to selected. Now, back in object mode, add an empty, and I like to use the sphere, but that is not required. You can use whichever empty you prefer. It is your choice. They're all empties. They will all work. So, under the scale over here, I like to set mine to 0.2, not 0.3, 0.2. Okay. And then I will duplicate this and just kind of move it off to the side. And in edit mode again, press Control I to select the inverse, and Shift S, not Control S, Shift S, cursor to selected, tab back into object mode, select this duplicated empty, and Shift S, selection to cursor. So you have one empty up here and one empty down here. So if you go back into edit mode with this selected and press Control H, not Control G, Control H, sorry, I can't get any of my keyboard shortcuts right, press hook to new object. What you'll notice is that it has created an empty and hooked those vertices to that empty. Now that's great, but that's not the empty I want it to be hooked to. So, oh my gosh, I have just had a revelation. I am so sorry. You can delete these empties that you just added. Go back into edit mode, hit Control I, just like this, Control H, hook to new object. Now just with these empties selected, go to your empty settings and change it to sphere. It is as simple as that. Oh, I can't believe myself. Okay, so now you can change the size to 0.2 on both of them. Sorry for my ignorance, but that's the way to go. Takes a little bit less time. Okay, now you can select this lightsaber again. I don't know why I told you to do that. You don't need to select it. So you can see that it's now hooked to these empties. So that's the basic rotoscoping setup. So you can see if you drag this way over here and render, it keeps the same composite, but it's not lined up anymore. So just undo that. But what you want to do is select both of these empties, insert a keyframe. I already have auto key on under location. Make sure that you have that. Sorry, I didn't mention that. And just, I like to do it in 2-frame increments unless it requires more detail than that. I also like to do it in wireframe mode, so just go forward 2 frames. For some reason, the first 2 frames always takes a minute to load in. There we go. Now just press G to grab this thing and move it on over. And since I have auto key on, it got that right. So now I can just adjust this. It didn't require a whole lot. And one thing you want to make sure you're doing is keeping this top one at a consistent size. So like I am making sure that these 2 vertices are always kind of in line with this edge here. And that these 2 here are always somewhere around a centimeter above this little spike in the middle. So just helps me to keep consistent length so that it doesn't look extremely fake. Or maybe like a old man's broken lightsaber. So basically just keep going in 2-frame increments until you have a good rotoscope, and if you just go with this for an hour, you can have all 250 frames done. It sounds like a lot, but it's, you know, after a while you get sucked into it and it's really not that bad. So, you know, you just, every once in a while something might look a little wacky, but you just want to make sure it looks good. And the blur on this lightsaber will give you a little bit of leeway as to how well it's lined up down here on your hand. So you still want to be careful, but there's definitely a little bit of room there for mistakes, but try to keep it as clean and natural looking as possible. But that is basically all there is to know about rotoscoping, because after that you just keep going and going doing that for however long it takes to get your scene rotoscoped. And you know, you can add some explosions and cool epic motivational music in the background, and you just go all out and make it look awesome. So that's about all I have to say about rotoscoping. If there's anything more you'd like to know about it, just tell me in the comments. If it can be answered briefly, I will comment back. If not, I might as well just make another episode. What else do I have to do with my time, right? Anyways, so thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Give me ideas for future videos, because I know what the things I wanted to know whenever I was first getting into Blender. It's been a couple years now, but y'all probably want to know some different stuff, so I'm all ears for suggestions. So keep me posted on what you guys want to see. And so thank you guys. I will see you all in the next episode.